times, but also the fact that we see some reluctancy from the side of Energy on their T side to actually change things up. We saw them multiple times trying to go towards that B bomb site without smoking off main for no good reason at all, except for just wanting to play off of contact. And it's very clear when you've lost 14 rounds in a row, like stuff's not working out. Like you have to actually just change things up a little bit more than just doing the same two variations towards either A or B. And I think that's what one of the cardinal errors really that we saw Energy do, at least on their T side.
Cardi. Like Cardi B.
Cardi B, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she did just drop an album, so there's that.
Yeah,
Not that we're here to plug Cardi B's album.
Energy did not make money moves, though. That's for damn sure.
This guy knows. This guy knows.
I know.
And that's different verbiage than what I'd probably say in that scenario. But either way, we do look to see here in Energy still trying to find that footing and going to the finals. They're right there. They're right at the finish line.
I mean, they got 1 point, and that's all they can get away from this one. And then maybe enough, later on.
Yeah. Again, we're going to see a Luminosity Optic eventually duke it out. That's going to have, obviously, a big implication on that, how this pans out. But I think, honestly, if I'm not mistaken, Energy could probably just OT their way into qualification.
Definitely. I mean, it is a little bit worrying to see them, this close to the finish line, then not deliver. I don't think we give enough credit to Renegades when we talked about Energy being close to qualifying, all that kind of stuff. They are facing Renegades, which is a team that is fighting for qualification as well. And I guess the big storyline in this regard is the fact that Renegades are currently being a big problem for SK if they want to qualify. Renegades are one of the teams they're fighting against, getting that 6th or 5th spot into the playoffs. And Renegades beating Energy 2-0. I don't think SK are too happy about that one. That's going to make it a lot more complicated for them to get into the finals.
When you say 2-0, it really just rings in my brain about the Intel Turbo Boost Technology 2.0 there in the i7 processor. That's right. The ESL Pro League is firing on all cylinders because of Intel. That's exactly right. You like that one?
Do you think that's what powered Renegades to victory?
I think Nifty coming alive on Inferno with that AWP at the very end saved the day just a little bit.
Do you think Nifty plays on an Intel?
Definitely
I'm
an
gonna
i7.
go with an i7 Intel.
Yeah.
It's got to be. And there's really only one way to do that. That would be to ask him on social media. Of course, use the hashtag ESL Pro League. And with that, we're going to go to a quick break because that one did just kind of run over on time. But we do have 4 more maps for you tonight. We're going to be jumping into a little bit of SK and Dignitas, one of David and Goliath's stature when we come back from this break. So make sure you don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Incendiary out.
Did I seriously get that dude in smoke?
Yo. Oh my.
Game, record, and stream without compromise. An Intel Core i7.
right. You can't stop the might. You should have took flight. Tell them when I bring it home, I'll take the top throne. King when I bring it, I keep them yelling out. Yeah. 'Cause I can smell victory, 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 victory.
Start your esports career now at play.eslgaming.com.
ESEA.
We have arrived at what could very well be a landslide matchup in SK versus Team Dignitas here at the Xfinity Analyst Desk. It is our job to provide you with just a little bit of insight as to what in the heck could possibly happen here. Of course, I do have Vendetta and Pimp here to help kind of break this one down for you at home. And if you're just joining us, you picked a pretty good time. You just did miss out on Renegades on the, how do I say this, on the hair of their chinny chin chin, pulling off a victory over Energy there on Inferno. Of course, Train was just a landslide altogether. But we're at SK Dignitas now, boys.
Yeah, might see more of a Train-esque, territory. I think for this one than Inferno. Be very surprised if we saw Dignitas bringing the heat, I guess, to a team like
I
SK.
think Dignitas is a very awesome lineup, and I think they have a very great chance of annoy SK today.
Did you know, Trace? Did you know that we have a person on this desk who's actually affiliated with Dignitas?
Well, I don't know where that sort of bias would have came from in what he just said, because, any sane man could tell you that this could be just a smash.
It could be, but it could also be one of the cases where Dignitas surprises us and actually shows us a level we haven't seen before.
I do love the fact that he's still positive, at least,
Yeah.
because we have to mention the fact that Dignitas have yet to win a game in Pro League.
Yeah.
They did.
Tell me about it.
They have gotten to 16-14s, so that is something to be said for them themselves, and they did so last week as well. But yeah, it's been a very grim season so far for the, I guess, up and coming talents of the Dignitas squad.
In the hunt to find their first win is Dignitas. SK Gaming, though, a lineup that has been, dare I say, parallel with champions across the world here in the global offensive community. Let's take a look at some of what they've seen this season. They have endured a little bit of a roster change here thus far. And with that, I guess we could talk a little bit further about this new SK, the new face of SK, the one trying to find their footing here with Stewie2K in the lineup. This is the set of remaining matches for SK Gaming. Dignitas tonight, Complexity on Thursday, and then Renegades after that.
Obviously, the first two games in Dignitas and Complexity should be 2-0s for SK on any given.
Has to be.
Yeah, that is actually true. It's not should just be. It has to be, because they're fighting for that top 6 spot as of right now.
No, don't sleep on Slimmy. Don't sleep on Slimmy.
I mean, I'm sleeping on pretty much the entirety of the Complexity team. I'm sorry.
Fair
But one team they can't sleep on is Renegades. We saw that today. They were able to topple to Energy in an impressive fashion, even though Inferno ended up being quite close. Energy have just kind of been trouncing everyone they've gone up against, including SK, even though that is with a bit of an asterisk considering SK were playing from Cologne. But And like regardless, I think SK still have to be on alert in that sense and actually be able to fully focus if they want to secure that top 6 spot. Because even though the 2 first maps or matches are relatively easy on paper at least, Renegade's gonna be a tough nut to crack.
Well, I mean, talking about cracking nuts around here, it's not quite Christmas yet, or whatever you guys were thinking at home. Ridiculous. Anyway, we could talk about SK Gaming. They've had a little bit of a tough time to crack over there themselves, specifically Kate around a roster change that has been Stu2K coming in and Taco leaving the lineup. Now, we did get a chance to sit down with Fallen and hear a little bit about the struggles within the lineup.
2017 was indeed the year of SK Gaming. Almost every tournament the Brazilians attended ended with a trophy lift. After a rough start to the year, they became unstoppable and spent their New Year's Eve at first place of the HLTV World Rankings.
Being on the top for 2 years, playing super well and achieving a lot of finals make us one of the teams who the other teams are always looking for, and that's a very tough task because you have to change our strategies.
But they haven't been able to replicate that dominant form in 2018, and so far, we haven't seen the world-class plays from the Brazilians.
2018 has been exactly like 2017 was, very difficult beginning of the year. I think our team, for some reason, kind of take a little bit more of time to really get it rolling. When we start the season, we feel the break too much when we had to stop for 2 or 3 weeks.
SK Gaming reached the semifinals at the E-League Major in Boston in January and took 3rd place in the CS Summit in February.
When you start losing matches, when you start losing some tournaments, you kind of try to figure out something that we're not doing yet or trying to play a little bit differently. And it kind of is a tendency to start playing a little bit more robotic.
At IEM Katowice, SK fell further down and ended on a split 7th and 8th place. And just when you thought it couldn't get worse, the Brazilian Kings were finally dethroned at WESG, where they lost all their matches and didn't even manage to make it past the initial group stage.
When you lose the lose aspect and you enforce everyone to play a little bit more strategically, you lose those personal achievements that you can have during the match, like those skills and information and space they have.
So in only a few months, the former Kings have lost their place atop the HLTV World Rankings, and they've now been relegated to a very unusual 5th place. And in the NA region of ESL Pro League, they've lost 6 out of 8 matches.
The process right now is really trying to get in shape and play a little bit better game after game. I'm pretty sure we can do it way better than we're doing right now, and if we just have to keep our heads up and trying to work on those bases, I say, like trying to really shape that up and get the confidence again.
A big oof there if you're an SK Gaming fan. A lot of things going on within that camp and a lot of people trying to understand exactly what that's going to be. To help us do that, though, we've sent Vendetta over to a different place to try to make some sense of it all. Take it away, Vendetta.
Yeah, I'm moving about, and right here with my trusty telestrator, we're going to take you through a bit of the new look SK, which is obviously with Stewie 2K, the one American flag there in the Brazilian lineup, and what kind of impact he's going to bring to the team, whether or not he's going to be sliding into the taco role, as we like to talk about it, and what kind of different look he can give to an SK that already has seen a ton of success. As you can see, not too big of a sample size with the team, still though positive KD ratio and a decent amount of ADR, roughly about the same thing as we saw in Cloud9 as well. And even though it hasn't been too many maps that he's had under his feet with SK here in Pro League, what we've seen from him has been rather positive. And Stewie is still Stewie in that sense, not necessarily being hamstrung in the biggest manner. And I think that's going to be a good thing for SK long term, the fact that he's not necessarily forced into being a player he's not necessarily comfortable being, because as we obviously know, Taco and Stewie are two very, very different players. But with that said, I think it's important that we also consider the backside of this. And Pimp, obviously we talked a little bit about this on the desk, and what are the potential negatives that Stewie can bring to this SK lineup?
I mean, he's a guy who's very flying around all over the map, whereas Taco is a more stable player in that sense. You know where you got him, you know what he delivers every single time. At the end, it wasn't too great individual-wise, but he was always enabling Cold Zero to be the player Cold Zero is, whereas Stewie 2K, he's a little bit everywhere. You don't know what kind of mindset he comes in with, what kind of attitude he comes in with. The fact that they have to speak English now instead of speaking their native language, Portuguese, is also a big problem. There's a lot of negative factors that could be provided very vital for them. also there's a lot of possibilities. You know, bringing in Steve 2K, as you said, it is a versatile player. It is a guy who can pick up the AWP. It is a guy who can pick up the rifle. It is a guy that can dominate an entire game and set the pace of an entire game. Whereas Taco is more like a guy who is just, you know, flying by and doing whatever he can do in order to enable the other guys on the team. So to get another playmaker on the team, and we talked a lot about it, you know, last time they did that with Phelps as well, it didn't work out too well. But on the other hand, you could maybe say that Fallen have learned from that period. You live, you learn, and you adapt, and hopefully SK know what they're doing, because I'm a little bit skeptic about this one, and it could be proving, you know, to be not the right decision.
So a little bit of skepticism on this side of the fence, and I suppose at this point I want to invite you, the viewer at home, to jump along and tell me, look at me, tell me exactly what you think about Stewie 2K over on the SK Gaming using hashtag ESL Pro League. Of course, we wouldn't use any other hashtags around here, that's for sure. Now, a team that has struggled much more than SK Gaming has been this team, and Dignitas. Team yet to win a match, Dignitas. What is there to say about it, Pimp? Yes, they were up and coming, but ultimately, what can you say could possibly go right for them? Anything at all?
I mean, if you have to say something positive, it was that the last time we saw them, they got to double digits. They actually should have won. They were throwing away a game. Dignitas were leading a game and could have won a game and secured them the first points. Somehow they managed to mess that up too, and they're sitting at 0 points now. So as much as I want to talk positive about them, let's be honest, it's a team that hasn't delivered in this sort of scale. We talked about it in the beginning of the season, how Pro League is a different level of competition compared to MDL. So when you go up here, you gotta step it up a notch, and you gotta practice even harder. You gotta get even better. You gotta be more serious. And it just feels like Dignitas are not ready to make that step up. They're probably gonna go back down in MDL. It sort of looks like it, but hopefully they learned a lot by this, gain a lot of experience, and maybe they're ready to come out next season and do some good stuff and maybe even gain some points. I will not rule them out yet, but it does not look good for them.
And you shouldn't rule them out yet. Not that you have any sort of affiliation or anything of that sort, but nonetheless, I think it's safe to say both of you are saying, hey, SK, big dogs here. They've got this one in the bag.
Yeah, no, that's definitely where I'm going with this. I'm not sure if your bias is just going to steer you over the fence. We'll see. So he's standing on the fence for now, at least. I'm going with SK.
I'm going to have to say, if you don't take SK in this, you might want to go drink some water and sit on the couch a little bit longer. It could be a excruciatingly long game for you, or I could eat my words. Either way, the ones delivering the words are over here to my right. That's going to be Harold and Jason. Welcome back, guys.
Thanks.
Did you enjoy your water break?
I had a lot of grapes, Trace.
Okay.
Why
there was no carrots, so I didn't eat anything.
Jason?
But what's up?
Why are you eating grapes?
They were out there, a bit hungry. It's that or candy. And yeah,
there's pizza there as well.
It's pizza.
There's no candy corn.
All
and
the
that's
healthy options available. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you guys can take it all from here. How about that?
Yeah, sounds great. I'm actually thinking I'm going to come out with a ballsy prediction. I think Dignitas could have 1-1 this. You know.
Imagine that.
Why not?
Imagine that.
Dignitas. I'm not sure I'm that confident. But I think since adding Roker in, they've looked really good. I'm still not sold on A2Z. But
just bashing players now, is that your thing?
Well, not exactly bashing, just like
if A2Z watches this back and hears you destroy him like that, you think he's gonna be happy with you?
Dude. No, I think he'll hate me. But oh well, what's another person on that list? Hey? When it's as long as it is, you know, as a percentage, he's a small one. So SK over on the CT side, a chance to get off to a good start here, and Dignitas rushing up banana, simple as it gets. They're going to go charging into B.
Ooh, Fallen wanted to have the flashbang out. He actually gets completely blinded. He's going to toss his out late, though. It's Stewie in the back of the bomb site, just holding on, falling down to 4 HP. Still no damage dealt, and that's a team flash. So Stewie not able to find anything. They're already wrapping upon him. Great headshot there. Ooh, that's actually Fallen. I thought that was Stewie to get the flick, but 3 kills ensue very quickly for Dignitas. They make enough progress. Bolts on the flank has to do everything, and he gets taken out immediately. Voltage, a great round from him, and Fallen was neutralized early on. It's looking like pistol round going to go the way of Dignitas with the old keep it simple, stupid strategy. Have a nice B rush. Fallen going to back away. I think he's going to try and save this kit for the second round. You never know when that could possibly come in handy, but the chances of him getting away are slim to none, and Mitch drops him right at the end.
Yeah, but just to expand on the 1-1 claim from me, you know, I want to defend myself, Jason.
Down, all right.
You know, I think since adding Roker in, this has legitimately made this roster, I think, considerably better, because now you've got 3 playmakers in this team. You've got Roker, Voltage, and Grim. they're kind of the three that you really look to do damage. I think 3 is like, you know, the perfect number. You know, you want 3 players that can really step up. Then you're not, you know, like you're not like too spoiled for choice, but it's just enough.
Technically you want 5, right?
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, I think that like A2Z, for example, definitely kind of fits into perhaps like more of like that supporting role. You know, and I do think that with this edition, the team just looks so much better. I mean, they got 14 rounds versus Cloud9. They actually threw that game away. And I think Cloud9 have looked better than SK as of late. So I'm just gonna, you know, I'm putting my money where my mouth is. Well, I'm not. There's no money on the line.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're actually not doing that at all.
I'm putting my reputation on the line.
You're putting a lot of faith in Roka, and many a man has fallen with that same mistake. All 5 players of Dignitas here at Banana. No map control, no presence anywhere else. Stewie on the scout, far back at Coffins. Fallen with the CZ up on top of the box. 1 kill from Stewie, and this could get so dangerous. Fallen's going to drop down. He wants to throw this flashbang. There's the kill from Stewie. Going to go for more. He gets a follow-up headshot. There's the CZ coming into action. And all of a sudden, the pistol round looked easy, but this time, progress is slowed, if not stopped entirely. It's Mitch left in a 1 versus 3. Still a chance. But that fake plant is going to run him out of time as the flank is already here. They're up Banana. He's going to go peek forward. Fur is there. Can't connect with the spray. And it's all tied up. Beautiful round from Stewie with the scout.
Yeah, no, that was just Stewie dunking on some Dignitas players left and right. He'll shut them down. And not going to bring the scout out once again. He's going to go on to the UMP instead. It's just MP9s and UMPs and an AK for SK. They've grouped that up. And Dignitas buying down what they can. Now, Inferno, a map that Dignitas up to play quite a lot. I think every time we've seen them have a series, in fact, one of the maps has usually been Inferno. So they should be very, very used to playing it. Maybe even very, very used to losing on it. Who knows? I mean, I think for Dignitas it'd be great if the one win they get this season
was against SK.
Yeah, what a way for that to go down. But ooh, Stewie and Fallen, they've locked down Banana. Just Voltage left alive, 1v4. You don't imagine he gets much more done here, as good as he has been for Dignitas. Yeah, he's going to fall at the hands of Stewie.
Couple double peeks, or double shoulder peek to make Voltage think another one's going to come out, and then the wide peek to secure the frag. So nice job from SK, playing behind that smoke, and Dignitas tries to catch him off guard, but can't actually do it. Couple rifles on the board, but the SMGs have made them a lot of money, and this time it's just down to Glocks. 1 flashbang on A2Z. We'll see where they go. First 2 rounds have been all 5 players each time towards Banana. They haven't even really messed with A. See, 2 of the A defenders actually have 0 kills. At the moment, they're just kind of lollygagging in mid, aren't they? Just hanging out, having a powwow, playing patty cake. And back to Banana we go.
Yeah, this is a round where you don't imagine they get anything done. And it's just another round ready for Fallen and Stewie to keep building this synergy. You know, it's a team-building exercise inside the B-bomb site, or a team dismantling exercise, perhaps, as that's what they've been doing at Dignitas over here. In they come with their Glocks, and yeah, it's not much more to say about that, is there really? Fallen and Stewie make decent money. Fallen especially, you can go ahead and get the AWP here.
I mean, look at the scores of SK. You can just see what strategies have been called by Dignitas. 8 kills on Stewie, 8 kills on Fallen. Those are 2 B defenders. 1 kill on the other 3 combined. So, I mean, those guys just haven't seen a whole lot of action from a pretty clean pistol round for Dignitas taking the B bomb site to 2 demolishments. It's not an evenly spread attack quite yet. 5 AKs on the board. Deep smoke for SK as well, as we've seen a number of times.
I do love the way that in that analogy you use, you just split furs, 1 kill among the other 3. Nice and I don't know, like socialist view of that. It's good.
When in Scandinavia.
Well, here's Team Dignitas setting up outside the A-bomb. So there's 4 players here for SK. And that's pretty dire. There's always been two inside that B bomb site, but Stewie's got the information. He's peeking down over the half wall, and that's allowed all these extra players to come rotating in. And oh no, it's all gone wrong for Dignitas. Everyone's dead apart from A2Z, and now even A2Z. So just like that, SK 4-1 up. That was a bonus round. You wouldn't have thought so, but it was.
It couldn't actually be more of a disaster for Dignitas, considering before all these purchases came out, you had 4 members of SK over 10,000, and now another round Dignitas is going to be back to the pistol, so a good chance again. Bonus money still coming out on Coldzera. He's got the UMP. You've got 4 rifles next to it, and everyone really flush with cash. And if these are the kind of plays Dignitas is going to run on this T side, SK is going to be loving it. Highly grouped up. A lot of contact plays. And pretty fast pace, all things considered. Nade out towards Banana. Oh, that's great. Grim down to 33. The Molotov as well forces Roko away. He's going to swing out for a fight and gets taken down. Fallen, loving these duels at the moment. Jumping over for information. Pop Flash comes in. He tries to pre-fire the logs. It's Stewie's turn, and he doesn't want to give it up. 2 through the boards. Fallen shuts down Grim as well. And this is, I think, the kind of characteristic defense we're going to see SK come out with until Dignitas can stop it. They're going to take fights. They're going to take peeks. Fur's going to be aggressive over towards A. Now Coldzera's got the AWP.
See, and one thing I am looking forward to with this new SK lineup, at least, is if you recall, when they had Taco in, it felt like for the longest time they were trying to make Inferno like, one of the maps they could do well on. They were playing it a hell of a lot, kind of having mixed results. But, Stewie obviously is very comfortable on Inferno. It's a good map for Cloud9. And, I do think maybe by bringing him in, we could see this become a stronger map for SK, because they were already working on it before. They're already, looking way better on it.
I mean, one of the things you can think about, one of the most characteristic losses we saw from SK down the stretch, actually hold the thought, fall another flashbang peek. That's a great tap on a voltage, but they both go down. A2Z manages it. Fur is here with the nade to follow up, and he's going to fall back into the bomb site. Molotov to slow him down. A2Z swings into it, so does Roka. That pairing is dropped. Dignitas did not want to hit the pause button, did not want to slow down, and they give away the advantage. Chance here, though. 2-on-1 at this A bomb site. Mitch has to wait. It's hard to wait when you're in this position, though. You're exposed to so many different angles and bolts. Sees the Molotov come out. Should be an easy first kill, but it's not. But he does eventually get it. Grim with the trade. Coldzera's most certainly going to wait for Fur.
Darren Grim, he's one of the star players for this Dignitas roster. Some of his performances have led to some incredible scorelines for them thus far throughout the events we've seen them at. Fire's going to go down. Grim, can he 1v2? This is one of the best teams in the world. That would be quite the feat from him. Coldzera going to go through the Molotov, goes ahead and throws down the Incendiary, and this is very bad for Grim. He's low on HP. Coldzera going to tap the bomb. Had he stuck it, he would have got away with it. Times tick low, and oh no, Grim. So close, the pressure gets to him. And I mean, had he waited 1 or 2 more seconds, just anticipates that Coldzera is already on the defuse. It goes in for the peak and then goes down.
In all fairness, it's about the only decision you can really make. And he's obviously trying to time the Molotov to only do one or two ticks with such low HP. So unfortunate, but it's not as silly as it looks when you're actually in this situation. It's unfortunate he's forced into that play. Nice job from Coldzera in the 1v1. 6-1 for SK. I think to build on your point that Inferno could become very strong for SK with the addition of Stewie. Look at this play. Oh, he gets caught off guard. Wasn't aware that Roka was already there. One of the most characteristic maps losses that I saw SK take towards the end of that previous lineup was on Inferno against Team Liquid, where the B bomb site was just a sieve. Like, they couldn't stop anything. And a lot of that was towards the B bomb site. Most of that was towards the B bomb site. So you had Stewie, who is a defender of the B bomb site, and he's shown a number of times that he's very proficient at it. Obviously, you kind of bolster this bomb site and what it can hold.
I know, it still feels like maybe that's something they're concerned about now, even with Stewie here. You always see Furs kind of nearby. He's always in a position to rotate. In SK have frequently sent 3 players over here toward B early on. Yeah, admittedly, Dignitas not like the ultimate test for them, but
they're certainly not.
Still, perhaps an indication of how they plan to try and play this default. This time, Dignitas, they found the man advantage early on. That was onto Stewie just previously. Roka was the man to pick that up.
wondering if this is going to be a fake. You have Roka and you have A2Z, the two new additions over towards the B bomb site. Maybe they want to attack this site, try and pull a defender away from A. I don't think that's going to happen, though. There's already a second player there. That's Fur. Unless there's kills that come out, this is not going to work. Meanwhile, there's a kill. This might push someone out into the open. There's the jump out of the balcony. Bolts is not aware of it from behind him, and there's Cold Zero with the deagle, can only get one. And that should win the... Actually, no, there's only 8 seconds left. He hasn't picked up the bomb. He's got to jump all the way on top. This could be a disaster. Can he get the plant down in time? Yes. I think he will just get the plant, but he's out in the open. Fur's won it. He's gotten there just in time. Oh, and just unlucky for Dignitas. That is Heartbreak City.
Yeah, my prediction isn't looking too great. It's still early
Your
days.
prediction wasn't looking too great when you made it at the start of the game.
I should have known. It's an organization that has Pimp under their wing. But, well, not exactly the round that Dignitas wanted. They're going to go rushing up Banana, back to their roots. And this time it's letting them a kill. Maybe they're just going to go for this. And actually, Fallen's got to step up or step down. This is it. Will he be able to get work done? They go pushing into him. Gets one. And then traded out by Roka. 4 on 3. You have to admire Dignitas' tenacity there. Struggle with that, but perhaps not as much of a struggle as SK are going to be in now. Trying to retake this site, a man down.
They have plenty of money to risk behind this kind of a buy, but if they don't get some frags early on, then they have a chance to retreat. They may just want to do that. Already about halfway through the bomb timer, and here come the smokes, the Molotovs from the CT side to force the retake. Voltage out in the open, but they can't punish it. Blind at the moment. And A2Z is burning alive. He's down low. He's still standing in the flames. Got to be careful. Fur turns for a flashbang, but that exposes him to Roka, who's traded off. And all the trades going in the way of Dignitas, at least early on. Smoke down, and Mitch peers around his own. Finds Cold Zera, but I don't even know if there was time left for the defuse. Mitch will survive with the AK-47. 7-2 now. Another round on the board finally for Dignitas. First since the pistol.
This was a nice little sequence from Bolts to get them back in, but still, around going to be going the way of Dignitas. And this is one thing, you know, when we saw them play the other week versus Cloud9, it was the fast rounds, the aggressive rounds, where they just sort of went for it, you know, like didn't overcomplicate matters, kept it very, very simple. Those were the rounds that Dignitas were able to pick up. The only thing is, right now versus SK, it doesn't really seem like they're too keen on letting those same mistakes slip by. And you know, I mean, you kind of feel like maybe there's good reason for that. Cloud9 sort of moving away from, you know, with bringing F&S in and stuff, they have seen like a reduction in their overall firepower, right? So maybe you can catch them off guard with some of these faster plays. It's also the IGL coming in is...
I think it's just a matter of them wanting to counter some of the pushes that SK's been doing towards Banana, and also, I mean, they've done a lot of plays towards the B bomb set, a lot of fast-paced plays, and it just seems like the playbook isn't well established yet for Dignitas. You know, still pretty early with this roster. I think this is the second week they'll have had it. So,
well, you also imagine, right, one of the players that left was their original IGL, MCE. Was one of the players who got cut, right? So I'm not even sure who's calling actually within this.
I would assume it's A2Z. I could be wrong.
See, that was the guess I was taking as well. Because I don't see Roka suddenly adopting the IGL role. And, you know, Voltage being the AWPer, Grim was like one of their best players. Mitch maybe could have taken up the mantle. But I would have to say 2Z.
Kill from Fur, another frag of Voltage running through the flames. Stewie trying to get creative, and he's maybe trying to get too creative. I don't know if Fallen's found himself in this position. 2 kills, and Roka's traded spots with him, and he's the only one left as the smoke clears. As his vision comes back, Fallen gets his third. 16 kills for Fallen in the game so far, and most of it, if not all of it, with the M4.
Yeah, he's hardly even done that up over towards this B-bomb site. He's been looking very, very crisp with the M4, so why not? Cold Zera, he's been the man picking it up instead over there towards A. And no one on A has really seen too much action just yet. There's really been that one round that stands out. Cold Zera with that mid-peak. He's feeling very, very, very confident in himself. Mitch is going to be able to get one back with the pistols, but the nades doing damage, the aggression Bolt's going to go ahead and just double down out from apartments. That's the bomb drop this round. Looks to be, I was going to say pretty clean, but Roka, he's not a fan of that. Very, very messy guy. Wants to try and keep this round as costly as he can. Stewie still taking the fights. I mean, SK just kind of playing with their food here in the bottom of Banana. There you go. Stewie finds them both. And that'll be the 2 latest additions for Dignitas going down. SK onto a 9th, and 7 rounds their advantage. They're probably feeling pretty good right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the money's brought a little bit low, so they're going to want to rebuild that. Should have a chance in this round. I was going to say they should, but actually, Dignitas leaning towards that Vegas Squadron playbook. 3 MAC-10s, AK-47, UMP on A2Z. Looks like another B-rush coming in. And Stewie's getting aggressive, this time with the AWP, and he's blind. He's going to find one. Fallen's completely blind as well. You imagine he's going to drop the Molotov. Smokes are out, and they're running right through it. Extinguishes the flames, and Mitch somehow finds one as well. Underhanded nade. More damage out, but another 3 on 4. And SK, they just keep getting aggressive, and they can't handle this fast pace, these rushes towards the B bomb site. It seems like they're kind of getting lulled into thinking they don't have to deal with it anymore, and then Dignitas just comes right back with one. So 9-2. About to be 9-3s. It looks like SK is going to back away from this fight. First, got to kind of stick around close by, you feel, to help coldzera get away with this AWP. Although he still can survive in the right corner. Question is, how much do they want to hunt? And the answer is not at all. So coldzera will be fine. Still money
right
to
now,
drop some guns.
Dignitas, their playbook is just B. That's it. I think we've seen them go A twice this whole game.
I mean, you can see it from the scoreboard. 16 on Fallen, 13 on Stewie, everyone else at 7. So, I mean, just largely being ignored. The trouble is, Fallen and Stewie, because they're getting so aggressive, they've been caught. Like, if this team is just, if Dignitas is just going to call B rushes nonstop, that does turn into like a pretty 50-50 fight of whether you're ready for it, whether you're not, whether you get caught by a flashbang, whether you get caught by a nade, and we're going right back to it. I think at this time they're just trying to tilt SK a little bit.
Ooh, Fallen just manages to escape. He's got support from Stewie now. They go rushing in. Stewie holds back the first. Fallen still hiding away, and now he finally comes on out, starts to smite them down and fur through the smoke. Feels like SK have kind of started to lock in this this B rush play that Dignitas have going on. You saw Fur was very, very quick on the rotation there. He was kind of hanging around over by Arch side anyway. Maybe now we see Dignitas go for a big switch up, throw like a fake in towards B. But even then, you kind of imagine that Fallen's very ready for something like that to happen. You know, perhaps anticipating, okay, they've rushed B, 12 rounds of this game. And this looks like the time they go ahead and do that. A2Z still making noise. They're going to boost up Fallen. He does get tagged. He knows there's one man here, but he didn't see anyone else down the back of Banana.
I mean, the fact that there's no noise outside of that one player towards Banana is going to set off alarm bells in SK. They have to know something towards A is coming. Bolts is ready for it. There goes the first player. Can't get the second. Does dink him. Fur's got to turn around. Roka's there jumping out. They're at low HP, but they need to complete some kills, and coldzera misses a critical shot, but that's the bomb. And surely he knows it. Smoke is up in the choke point. But it's looking like this should be locked down for Dignitas to get their 4th. 2 ops to retake this A bomb site is not going to be easy. And Fallen doesn't really have a lot of money, and neither does Stewie, to at least not enough to sustain a loss of their gun in this round. So the op's going to sit back, try and take some weapons away as they evacuate, see what happens. I think the real story is Dignitas has one around towards that A bomb site.
There's both orbs there. That's pretty devastating if you're SK. Because now the prospect of holding a double up setup into this round becomes a very, very tricky one. That they could do it, but they are just going to go for rifles in favor of the extra utility AWP out for coldzera. Fallen's been feeling fine with the M4. Does give that extra mobility as well over towards the B-bomb site, which definitely will come in handy in the event we see Dignitas go back to their roots. And No, they'd be throwing a few nades up here towards the top of Banana. That disallows any early aggression in from SK. SK, I mean, we saw in the previous round that they're kind of hungry for any sort of information down Banana, just to see what is held in store from Dignitas. See if it is a rush. See if it's, you know, going to be another fake throwing in. And this time they've preemptively rotated, falling away. The Bomb, Roka, and A2Z are all grouped up here on Banana. Fallen's now going to start to head back round. Dignitas switching up the pace once again.
Haven't been able to make a whole lot of slow rounds work, though, so we'll see. Fur just, narrow gap, gets the information, gonna fall away. It's a dangerous game, stepping back into the tracers, excuse me. 50 seconds left on the clock. 3 smokes. Some flashbangs for Dignitas. Looks like they want to come towards this A bomb site. Great damage on a Mitch. Pretty improvised HE grenade coming out of bolts. And this defense is now lining up. Even Fallen is on the rotate over. Molotov to delay even further. Should give the indication. Here comes flashbangs off the chimney. 2 players in pit, 1 in the bomb site, and actually Fallen's rotated away. This is poor timing. Roka has a pretty free avenue of attack. I think they're hearing it. I think the player in the bomb site will hear it. coldzera misses, baits him right into bolts though, and there's 3 there. It's a triple kill for the SK defense, and quickly just down to 1. Just down to A2Z. 8 seconds left on the clock, and even if he gets that first kill, there's just way too much to do. So another 11-4 half for the CT side on Inferno.
Yeah, coldzera uncharacteristically missing a couple of shots in that round, but it was very much remedied by bolts up on the balcony. Him and coldzera ultimately emerged victorious. A very, very good half from SK. From Dignitas, what we saw was pretty limited in terms of its actual scope. A lot of B rushes, quite simple strategies, but I feel like that's to be expected from a roster that's this fresh and you know, recently losing their IGL. Maybe they are just trying to keep it simple for now. And the issue is, SK isn't the one team I'd want to be going for anything too simplistic over.
Yeah, I mean, they're world champs, right? So they're going to be able to adapt to all that kind of stuff. But it's also, you know, it's not easy to pull off those more complex strategies. It's just, you'd like to see... It is a bit wild to be in a Pro League match and seeing, what, like 6 or 7 B rushes on Inferno. Like, that's a bit much.
I mean, I think they only went A 4 times.
It's a bit much.
It wasn't always a B rush, but they're very, very fond of the old B bomb site. And again, who is not? Everyone's matchmaking coaches. They love a good B rush.
It would be great if SK just rushed B every single round to show them how it was done. That would be banter. Either way, A2Z been spotted. He's going to fall back towards CT spawn. The tough part is it leaves Grim so lonely.
Even on the CT side, Dignitas rush B.
Yeah.
Look at them go.
Well, Bolts is going to figure it out. Actually, pressure towards CT spawn. ATZ is out in the open, and he's going to get 1 before being traded off, and now it's only Roka here. He's got the single kill. He's out in the open, and he gets taken down, not in cover quick enough. Voltage still here. Going to drop the smoke. Are they aware? There's the shot that gives it away, and Voltage wanted that fight, but can't find anything. It's just Grim on the flank with the CZ. 1 headshot. 2 headshots. We've seen some great pistol rounds out of him just last week. See if we can build upon that. It's him against Fallen in a 1 versus 1. Fallen has no armor, just a Glock. Nothing else is salvaged. No kit on Grim as well. Going to tap the bomb. Fallen working his way around. Going to spot that out, and he's just going to hide again out towards construction inside of the ruins. And Grim really has to manage his angles nicely. Doesn't know where it's planted from, and at this point it might just be all over. He's got to stick this bomb, but now he can't. He knows Fallen's ready for the peak. He knows he's done this perfectly, and he knows he has no chance. So he's just going to back away, keep the CZ, upgrade to head armor for real cheap in the next round. Actually, not anymore.
Yeah, I think there was even an opportunity there where Fallen spotted Grim out right from ruins and just didn't take the shot, just instead backed away and played the time. But SK winning the pistol there paints a pretty grim picture for Dignitas. As... a 14-4 scoreline feels likely, and force buy here from Dignitas. If I'm Dignitas, I don't know if I would force buy, Jason. How do you feel about that? Because, you know, I mean, I feel like if you're the underdog team, all the extra utility is definitely going to help you into the...
I mean, you might as well go for it. with this kind of a disparity. Not against the idea. Going to be a waterfall out of the balcony. Here comes nades up mid. Grim is blind. They haven't cleared him out just yet. Surely Bolts will do it. He knows no one has turned to the right, but he does it late. He does it a little bit half-assed. He gets taken down, but the bomb site is firmly in the control of SK, and Dignitas knows they have no chance of winning this. Roka's already called for the save. Fallen is watching for that, and he will spot Roka drop down, and Voltage and A2Z over towards the B bomb site have already set up in defensive positions. 13-4 for SK.
Yeah, for Dignitas, it's not looking too great here on Inferno. Don't want to sugarcoat it too much. And so I won't. It's just going to be 2 smokes, 2 flashes carried forward, some armor, some CZs. Kind of anything they can get their hands on at this point. Roka's able to get Cold Zera, but doesn't really do too much in the grand scheme of things. For Dignitas now, they just have these weapons that were carried forward from the previous round to try and do damage here. You imagine SK finds the 14th, but then Dignitas managed to get their buy-in, and that's going to be the real test. We won't get to see too much of this CT side if they lose that round, which is always a shame. I do like seeing how Dignitas have progressed. That was one thing I was very much looking forward to.
Ooh, blind running through the flames, doing good damage. Surely Roka's going to go down there. 2 more to handle over at Car, right through the boards. The AK reigns supreme, and a double kill for Cold Zera. A2Z is found on the flank. SK wrap it up, and yeah, here come the M4s for Dignitas, but they're not going to have an AWP, and they're going to be missing a good amount of nades. And kits.
Yeah, no kits, no utility even on Grim. And just 4 smokes, 2 flashbangs, 2 nades. That is a very, very thin sprinkling of nades. I don't know if that's the proper way to describe it, but it does the job nicely. Fallen. He's going to get spotted down here on Banana. Mitch gets sent out of Boiler, and now he's in a bit of a tricky spot, kind of to try and get out of dodge, but he's going to get flashed back, and he's been spotted. Stewie's going to find it, does get tagged low in the duel, and Voltage able to win 1. Look at this wrap round from Grim. This could help out massively as he's able to do the damage onto Stewie. He's still a big threat up here in apartments. Roka's a long way out, though. Bolts, for the time being, has this one man isolated up on the balcony. Doesn't know where he is, however, so time is being bought for Roka to come rotating in from Library. Fallen, still down at the bottom of Banana. Not gonna lie, didn't even realize he was still alive. It's very far removed from this round, but with a minute on the clock, he could try going in for a lengthy flank.
This is just SK at its finest. Just hit the pause button, just have way more patience than your opponents. See what comes. There's footsteps heard by Bolts. More coming from Grim. That's an easy kill. Now he's just got to wait for Fallen to come up. He's going to plant default where Fallen can help out. Molotov to ensure no one's going to wrap. Roka's going to push through the smoke, though, especially because of the gap, but he can't make noise. Bolts would know he's there, and he finds the kill anyways. Roka can't handle it. 15-4. An awkward round, but SK, vintage SK, being able to win out 2v2s and make it look easy.
I mean, this is the thing. Dignitas, when they were in MDL, they finished top of the board with the Saw Gaming. Like that was the org they were with then, and they looked really good in MDL. Then they come up to Pro League, and I mean, you can just kind of see the disparity between the two. And it's, you know, people sometimes half, but pros, whether it's, you know, right at the top level in MDL, I always say, you know, this kind of shows how much of a step up it is going between the two. And you know, I mean, if you think you can do it, by all means, go ahead. Come over to play.esca.net and give it a go. But for Dignitas, this is looking like this map is all said and done. They've lost Roka early on. I was really bigging him up as someone to keep an eye on. Now, he hasn't necessarily delivered here in map 1, but there's still a second map later on. And this one is not over just yet.
Oh, Fur might be a little bit frustrated as he gets taken on. Mitch goes for the double, flying out of the window. He does get it, but Cold Zera there with the trade. Voltage hasn't given away his position. He's going to push forward. A2Z is being forced back at an awkward angle, and it looks like SK. They have a decision to make, and Cold Zera is just going to get into halls and avoid a fight with Voltage Seems afraid to pick up that AK-47, doesn't want to give away the sound cues. That's going to be the easiest kill of coldzera's life. He's going to love that. And with the player pushed out, that usually signifies that the other player is over towards the B bomb site, because he's there to get information, he's there to have a quick flank. And it's going to be SK taking this first map. 16-4, it's a 3-on-1. No kid on A2Z, and all bases covered for SK.
Yeah, this looks like they're going to be able to win it out here. Stewie gets the last kill, and SK, they win the first map of this series. And it's a much-needed win as well. That large round difference is definitely going to be worth its weight in gold, as well as they continue to move up the standings. Everything matters at this point for SK. Every victory counts. They've only got, what now, 5 more maps in total to play for to try and get into their spot at the playoffs.
Yeah, every game for them is a must-win scenario, and this one obviously going to be one of the easier ones they'll have in the late season run. We'll see if they can make it 2-0 when we return from the break, so stay tuned.